Well, hello everybody. There we go. Hello, Mr. Foxy. Good to see you. Mr. Mayor, good to see you as well. Welcome back to this week's live stream. Hi, yeah, it's good to see you guys. All right, so by popular request from the poll I put out, we're definitely going to be building that mega space station today. And I did a little work before I started up the stream, just getting things ready. I wanted to reuse the rocket we built last stream. So this guy's coming back, the heavy launch vehicle we developed. And I whipped up a couple quick payloads. So these are some like real basic habitation modules. Nothing too fancy here, but they've got CS, gimbal. They've got little display screens here. So these will be the habitat modules. So we're going to launch these first, but we're going to leave them together in the parking orbit that we want to put the station in. And then we're going to fly up a couple other components and then undock these and assemble them in the situation in space. So I think everything is good to go on this build for launch already. I just double checked my staging. We should have plenty of delta V, and we've got good thrust weight ratios for everything. So I think we're good to go for launch. You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Or is it like real quiet? Hold on, let me check my audio. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. I think you guys should be able to hear me. It says the audio is coming through. So, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely audio coming through. You can hear me. We're fine. Let me relaunch. I don't want to launch from space. I want to launch from the actual launch pad. Here we go. Oh, Excalibur, sorry you can't stay on. Well, the recording's going to be posted on YouTube. You can watch it later if you want to. Okay, so we've got our craft ready to go. We'll warp ahead to the day. I hate launching at night. Makes things difficult. Okay. Oh, yeah. That would do it. That would do it. Okay, so we're going to be launching to a geostationary or a Droo stationary orbit, which is 8,000, I believe 8,000 kilometers, something like that. So we'll aim for that for now, and then go make adjustments as necessary. This should have plenty of delta V to get us on course. I'm going to lock heading. We don't need these sliders. And lift off. Space station interiors, yeah. I've considered doing a couple space stations with interiors. It's just very difficult, very work intensive, and I'm not super good at interiors. I've just never felt like I could design one that looked good enough for me. So I probably won't attempt to build a interior space station. I'm happy with just building the ones with the exteriors. I do have a slightly tinkered part on these modules. It's an XML edit that we used, but it basically allows you to put a astronaut inside of one of the fuel tanks. Oh, we got a failure to launch. I'm gonna restart that. Uh-oh. Poor separation. Not what I was hoping to see there. Let's try that again. Time warp forward. There. Okay, we're gonna launch again. Oop, don't need to be time warping now. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my flight view as well. Let's back off the throttle. I'm gonna keep like a 2.0 thrust to weight ratio for the majority of this, and we'll go ahead and pitch over early. Here we go. Okay, let's try and avoid crashing the boosters into the rocket a second time. That's a little embarrassing. Holding at 2.2 thrust to weight ratio. Good. Go ahead and align with our prograde vector here. Alrighty, we are on course Separation. Okay, they fell away cleanly this time. That's good. We're at 46 kilometers, 47 kilometers apoapsis. Back off my thrust to weight ratio even farther. And we're going to start really pitching down here. Not too far, not too far. Keep it under control. I'm going to basically go horizontal at this point. Right there. Okay. So we'll hold that for a little bit. Till we get to a time of 50 seconds to apoapsis. And then we'll start accelerating it again, full throttle. Basically what I'm trying to do is stay at the top of my apoapsis when I burn, because that's going to give me the most efficiency. That's going to spend most of my fuel in the right direction. Here we go. Burning good here. Air density. Once air density is below 2 grams, I'll go ahead and separate the fairings, reduce our weight. Burn prograde again. Okay, everything's looking good. Fairings are away. Big time acceleration here. Okay, we'll point back at the horizon. Yeah, I don't know what the issue is with the color here. I haven't changed it since the last live stream. It's super, super ugly shade of orange. We'll have to fix that between launches. Second stage is burning, and we are good for orbital insertion. Everything's looking nominal. Plenty of delta V to work with here. Just gotta burn us up. Okay, I'm gonna kill my thrust. Look ahead towards the orbit. We'll go ahead and push off from there. Just to circularize, right about there. That's good. 19 meters per second, real small burn here just to kick us into the final stage of orbit. And we are circularized. Okay, that's good enough. Stop. Okay, pause the game. Let's take a look. We need to plan our home and transfer orbit. So we're going to start with our first burn at periapsis and push this out to 8,000 kilometers. That's 4,000. That's too much. 4,700, 4,900. 8,000. That's too far. I believe 8,700 is the number we're looking for here. I'm going to... Actually, we'll leave it there because it's going to overburn a little bit. We'll lock and auto pilot towards it. Alrighty, and we are go. 1,000 meters per second of delta V for this, and we have 4,000 in the stage. Plenty of delta V, plenty of fuel to make this maneuver. No sweat. Go ahead and fast forward here. Okay, coming up on end of the burn. Oh, and we overshot just enough. Okay. Now we're just going to time warp out till we are kind of getting close-ish to our next burn node, because we're going to want to burn right at apoapsis to finish our home and transfer orbit. So we'll burn right there. And then push this guy all the way out. 5, 6, 7, 8. Too far. Back that off. Okay, I'm just going to make little adjustments here to try and get our orbits as close together as possible. That's pretty good. And we'll start it off again. New haircut? No, it's the same haircut I've been sporting for the past couple of weeks. I just stopped wearing a hat. Last week I was wearing a hat. I had my hair cut like 2.5, almost 3 weeks now. I actually need to get a new one. This is getting pretty long in the back. Okay, I want to slow time down now for this last bit. Boom. That's about as good as we're going to get it for accuracy here. Okay, there's one more thing we can do, and that's have our, let's see, if we go to periapsis, time warp to periapsis, and then what we can do is kick, if we kick the payload retrograde, it'll actually, the relative velocity between our payload and our fuel tank, will bring our apoapsis down just a couple of kilometers and circularize the orbit even farther. So right now we're at 8,709 kilometers and 8,714 kilometers. So if I point retrograde like that, like that, right there. Okay. I point retrograde and separate my payload. Now I'm at 8703 and 8709. So that is a very circular orbit and right where we want it. So that'll be our first payload. I'm going to rename this guy. Stream station. We'll rename it that, and then I want to go back. I'm going to take control of this guy. Our main stage here, and the reason I want to retake control of him is I'm going to deorbit this guy. Just gonna push him clear of the payload. I don't want to accidentally collide with the payload here, and then flip him around, burn retrograde. So now our payload is off. And we are falling back to Droo very quickly. So we will collide back with the planet. Awesome. So that is the first part of this mission complete. We will save and exit. I know it's left on a collision course. That was the purpose. So the space junk is going to fall back to the surface and explode, which is what we want. And the payload is going to stay in orbit. Next up, I need to fix this freaking fuel tank. I think the emission thing needs to go. Let's test this real quick. Set the emission on this paint to 0 and see if that's why it's freaking out and so like bright. Yep, that's what fixed it. Okay, perfect. Undo and exit. Do you usually hide the combustion chamber of the engines? Sometimes I will. I don't usually like having just the combustion chamber sticking out. So in some situations, like right here, the combustion chamber is partially tucked in. But like here, these are mostly out, you know. So the combustion chamber is slightly exposed. If I were to pull it out all the way, it would look like that. I don't like the look of all this plumbing. And if you look at the bottoms of most rockets, there is some sort of shroud or material that covers up that plumbing and protects it. And so I usually will hide the material like that. That's just me. Other people do it different ways, but personally, that's how I like to do it. Save this. Station, hab modules. Okay. Tarian, it is good to see you. How have you been? Good to see you on a stream. I'm gonna do this real quick. Okay, so next part of the mission, we've got those habitat modules up. Now I want to build the main structure for the station, which is basically going to be long tubes that just run like the length of the station, and then things will attach to them at various nodes. So what we'll do is we'll do a 1 meter radius. I don't know. I don't know how thick we should make this. No, that's probably good. That's probably good thickness. But we're going to make it 10 meters long. Why do I have FFSC? What is FFSC? But good. Good to hear you've been doing well. Online classes must be brutal. I remember finishing up my senior year doing all online classes, and I hated it. So I hope they've been treating you better. Size. I want this to be 1 meter. There we go. We'll do panels for this section. Why is this space station in such a high orbit? We're putting it in a geostationary orbit. So the period of our orbit, the time it takes to make one complete orbit, is the same amount of time as Droo takes to rotate once. And so what that does is let's say there's a point on the surface that we're tracking, and our station's right here. As the station orbits, it stays fixed in the sky as it rotates around Droo. So like TV satellites are one thing that use geostationary orbits. That's why when you set up an antenna for a satellite TV, you basically just like point the satellite at a specific spot in the sky and then leave it alone. And it's actually pointing directly at the TV satellite, and you never have to rotate it because the period of that satellite's orbit is synced up with your house. Okay, we'll do a 1 meter section there. Actually going to take this whole thing off a second. Rotate that guy around 180 degrees. We'll clip him to the bottom. Okay, so this will be the core of our next component. What I'm trying to think of, is there a way to like get 4 of these in a bundle while they're still like neatly packed? But I haven't thought of any like convenient way to go about that yet. We'll see. Maybe I could do like a center stage and have them attached around it. Either way, we still need to attach our docking ports on the top. And on the bottom, I need to rotate that one around real quick. Right. Nope. Right there. Okay. Those are our docking ports, and then these will be pretty much just tubes. Don't need any fuel in any of these. That can all go away. Oh, I do want to add one more. I do want to add, I'm going to auto resize the parts off and then make this 10 meters. Ungroup this guy. Have to attach him here. So what we're going to do is we'll add these little discs like that. And add one to the bottom right here, and we'll put monopropellant in these little fuel tanks on the bottoms here. So what's the geo altitude in Droo? I believe it's 8,703 kilometers or something around there. I can't remember the exact number, but it doesn't have to be super precise as long as you're on the ballpark. And that's kind of what I'm shooting for. So 8,709 is the altitude that I left that first section of the station. So it's orbiting there, and then we'll rendezvous and adjust if we need to. But yeah, as long as you're within a couple kilometers, the effect will be the same. So over time, if you're a couple kilometers off, that'll induce a slight drift between your orbits, which is not ideal, but it's not the worst thing in the world, you know. And so you'll fall out of phase with your target. And actual satellites do this all the time, and so they'll have to do correction burns to maintain proper alignment and all sorts of stuff. But we're not going to take it that far for now. So I'm also going to add, we'll do some solar panels on these as well. We're going to do relatively small ones. About yay big, and we'll do 3 around, 1, 2, 3, just like that. So there'll be those 3 solar panels. We will need to add a monopropellant node. Oh, and I need to change the type of fuel in these. Not Kerolox, but monopropellant. We've got 200 kilograms of monopropellant in these tanks. There we go. And then these will be monopropellant as well. But they're going to be real small. We're going to have these they're basically going to be 20 centimeter cubes, which is just big enough to comfortably fit a single direction RCS nozzle on them. There we go. We'll make them cube. These should be 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, and 0.2, and then I need to make that squared off on the bottom, like so. Perfect. Okay. So we will do... Actually, you know what? I'm going to do two-way symmetry with these. Trying to think what the best way to go about this is. Let's take this guy off. Let's make this the primary while we're working on it for a second. Set as primary. I want to take a look at my center of mass, because when I'm aligning these RCS nozzles, I need to make sure that they are on the center of mass, because that's going to mess with a lot of different factors, like where the velocity vector is and everything. We'll do 2 sets of solar panels, high and low, like that. And then the RCS nozzles will sit on the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'll align my view right there. And then I can physically just put that block right on top of the center of mass. Right there. And then from here, we can just go in and throw our nozzles on. So we'll do one on the bottom, one on the top, one on the outer side, and then on either side of the node right there. I'm actually going to group that together if I need to move it later. So that's grouped, and then we'll do 1 4-way symmetry, and it's right on the center of mass. Do you think that SR2 should have male-female docking ports instead of just the universal? Probably not. I think it just keeps it simpler to do a universal docking port. Universal docking systems exist in the real world, so it's not like you're simplifying the game or making it unrealistic by using a universal part. I think it would just be a big pain in the butt, honestly, and if they did introduce it, I probably wouldn't care. So I think it's fine as is. One thing they still need to work on with the docking ports is the attraction forces. They've never adequately fixed that to make them not super buggy and jittery. So that's one thing they could work on for sure. Okay. I'm going to set that as the primary again. I realize we probably can fit about 4 of these on in one node, which is what I'm going to try and do. Trying to think what the best way to do it is. Here's what we could do. Let's do like a real skinny, maybe 2.5 meters. It doesn't even need to be that long, and it needs to be empty because we're not trying to add a bunch of extra weight. I'm going to set this guy as the primary now because we're working primarily on him. What we're going to do is do 4 radial interstages. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. That probably needs to be bigger. Androgynous docking ports good. Custom mechanisms, docking standards, use them. Yep. There's actually a lot of cool things you can do with the universal docking ports. There's a mod out for an improved docking port that S-Flanker produced a while ago. This is kind of an older one. But basically what it does is gives a little added functionality to the docking ports that most people wouldn't appreciate, but it's actually pretty cool. Because right now, docking ports in game, you can't connect them to other docking ports on the same craft. But there are a couple of things that you can do with his docking ports, like connect to the same craft, so you can use them for stuff like cranes or anything where you need to manipulate a part like that. So if you're interested in more of that kind of stuff, you should check that mod out. It's really, I think, worth taking a look at. Okay, so we've got our payload situated in here, these 4 sections. Try to think, is there anything else we want to attach on this mission? 4 is plenty, and they only have a couple of docking nodes. What I might do is throw additional auxiliary docking nodes on these. So we could do one on the outside, one on the inside. Hold on. We're going to switch back to this guy real quick. Set him as primary. Okay. We'll add 2 more docking nodes. One high. And one low on the back side here. RCS ports are still lined up. That can come up. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll mirror it, so we'll have 2 and 2. And then we'll use the texture pattern here to line these up. So I want them to sit right in there. Uh-oh. I think I lost symmetry. Hold on. Redo symmetry. There we go. Okay. Redo symmetry on that guy, and then shift this guy down as well. 1, 2. There. And actually, let's rotate this around so that he is that. Perfect. Okay, so now it's nice and symmetrical. We've got plenty of docking nodes on this guy. So I will go ahead and attach him. Shoot. I have to change the primary again. So let's go back to this guy. Zoom on. We need to grab him. Set as primary. These are still radially symmetric, which is good. Oh, here's what I'm going to do. To make sure that the side stage grabs the right part, I'm going to turn off all part connections and only enable the main fuselage here. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so I think our payload is ready to go. We've got monopropellant, we've got RCS thrusters, we have docking ports, we've got solar panels. We don't have back to the drawing board. We do not have gyroscopes or batteries on this, so we're gonna need to put those on. Let's do a real skinny fuel tank here. Make it nice and long. Actually, this is 10 meters long, so we'll have it be 10 meters. So it'll run the full length of this fuselage. And I'm going to make sure that it is flush. 36, 47, 7. We will change it to be battery. Select the battery setting. There it is. No texture needed for this guy. Let's paint him. Is that going to be good enough? That should do. Never used the cube part personally. That's actually not... These guys aren't the cube part, though. Those are just reshaped fuel tanks. Because I can click on him, and there's actually fuel inside it. 4 kilograms of monopropellant. I don't use the Q part either. I really don't know what it's for. I don't see the point in it. I don't know. I don't get why they would add it. It just gives you like 6 places that you can snap apart to, but that's just not really functional enough to mean anything. It doesn't really do anything. I'm gonna mirror this guy as well. Okay, so we've got batteries in place. We just need gyroscopes. So I will do gyroscopes on this side. That's in command and control. Needs to be much smaller. This is a relatively lightweight vehicle, so it doesn't need to be very big or powerful. Okay, that's probably plenty right there. We will place that on the side of the hole and then move it in so that it's tucked away. I don't really want to see these guys. Select him. I want to shift him in and down just underneath the RCS ports. And we'll do two-way symmetry for him. Shape struts or fuel tanks. Yep. So I'm using shaped fuel tanks here. I bet I could use struts if I wanted to, but I'm going to hold off on it for now. Group those parts together. And, whoops, not what I wanted to do. I need to select the command ship here now. This guy. Set him as the primary. Take the bearing off for a second. Okay. We set the part connections again. And there we go. I think that's it. We've got RCS, we've got batteries, we've got monopropellant, we've got extra fuel, solar panels, gyroscopes. I think we've got everything. So we're good to launch there. I'm going to check my staging real quick, because that is always important. We've got our main boosters, and then, oh, here we go. I do not want my upper side inner stages to go, so let's get rid of that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have these guys, then these inner stages, bearing base, that engine, that inner stage. Let's honestly put that one ahead, because I don't think I need to separate the bus from the rest of it. We'll just fly the bus back as a whole piece. Okay. I think we're ready to launch. Let's do it. The 6th attachment could be useful. It could be, but you can do it. You can do the 6-way attachment with a bunch of other stuff. What the hell? Okay. Hold on. End flight. It did it again. I don't know if it's resetting the emission setting up to 100 or if that's just how it looks. It's super, super annoying. Yep, it's resetting it. I don't want 100% emission. Okay, let's try that now. Should be something similar to Spaceflight Simulator staging system. I personally don't care for SFS, the SFS staging system. And ever since that last update, it basically is the same as SR2 with the control groups. I don't think there's anything particularly unique or special about SFS in that regard. Nothing against it. It's just that's not what makes SFS good as a standalone game. I think SR2's staging system is pretty good. The only thing that I really have troubles with is the auto staging. When it like tries to auto assign all of your components to different stages, and it just chooses the worst possible arrangement of stuff. Okay, we are good for our launch so far. And I think we're good to go. I'm going to actually adjust the volume here a little bit. There we go. Orbit. We'll go ahead and burn prograde. I need to throttle down some because we're hitting our orbital checkpoint a little earlier than we needed to. Alright, clean separation of our side boosters. Can't dock easily. Well, I've got a little helping hand here. I have a mod that gives me a HUD for docking, which makes it a lot easier for sure. Go ahead and pitch down even further. Okay, gonna throttle down. Gonna go for the horizon, and in a couple of seconds, I'm going to drop my fairings. Looking good so far. While we're waiting, let's go ahead and target our station habitat modules, which are up in orbit there. Okay. We are good to go. We are out of the atmosphere, so the fairings are separated, and we are burning. Got a couple more seconds of burn time here. 20 seconds of burn time, and then we will go ahead and stage for our second set of engines. When you paint a part? No. I don't think that's necessarily the case with SR2, unless you're talking about Spaceflight Simulator. But in SimpleRockets, if you paint a part, that's not going to mess up the staging. What messes up the staging is if you take something off the rocket and then put it back on, it'll reset the automatic stagings, which can be super annoying sometimes. Okay, our payload is looking good. We are on our way to orbit. Just need to twiddle our thumbs here. Actually throttle down. We'll fast forward and just let this roll for a while. Nothing particularly exciting about this part, just pushing us into orbit. I'm gonna kill my engines real quick. — 104-kilometer apoapsis. Okay, we are in orbit. I'm not going to bother with a circularization burn. Not really worth it at this point. All I want to do now is align our orbits here. So I want to basically get an intercept with it right off the gate, and then circularize and do a minor rendezvous after the fact. So what we'll do is that gets us pretty close. Okay, too sensitive. Right there. Okay, so that is plenty close to our target craft. You know, we're only off by 3 hours in our orbit. So we will go ahead and set that as our target burn and warp to it. You should make a rocket without full flow stage combustion cycle engines because that kind of complex and high risk. Also, a real waste of good engineering is you're just jettisoning them. You know what? If you watched any of the campaign mode videos I did a while back, and I only did a couple of them, I really should pick that back up again and keep doing them. But in those campaign mode videos, I was limiting myself to what would be realistic for missions and like actually pricing and how much they cost and trying to either recover them or not use expensive components. And so I never touched full flow staged engines because it was just super expensive to use them. And so with my own set of like incentives, yes, you tend to use more like gas generator engines or solid engines, and you try to get away with as little as you can to do a mission. But I'm going to be honest, it's kind of fun just to have super powerful engines. And I'm kind of enjoying just not having to deal with those restraints. It's a sandbox. If I want to be challenged with what I'm allowed to build, I'll challenge myself. But these live streams aren't really super like intense. I'm not trying to be super like perfect engineering or like really detailed designs. I'm just here to like set a goal and do something that's decent and I can have fun with. Okay, so we are leading our target here. If I get um my orbit right here, so we are ahead of our target by 6.67 hours, which that means I need to have my orbit extend beyond the target orbit slightly. And what that'll do is, because my orbit is on the outside, it's a larger orbit, it'll actually take more time for me to complete my orbit, and the other craft's going to catch up to me because I'm going in a slightly longer, slightly wider orbit. Just risky. If by risky you mean like chance of failing, like the mechanical complexity of that engine is really high, and so there's a lot of components that could fail in the real world. I kind of see what you're saying from like a realism standpoint. Um, but since that's not a factor in the game right now, I'm personally don't care. Oop. So I just realized our orbits are. Oh, that might do it actually. Okay, so he's slightly ahead of me here. I need to make another adjustment to my orbit now. Um, and put myself slightly behind him. That was too much. Hold on. Pause the game real quick. So we're going to look at these two icons as they move around the orbit. Is that as close as they're going to get? Satellite's still going to be ahead of us? What's the, Oh, no. No, that's too much. I got you. Let's try and match these orbits for now. Let's see. Zoom in here. Where is his periapsis? Basically, oh, I see. It's not an issue of we're over his inclination. Okay, so we need to do an inclination change. For now, what I'm going to do is circularize this guy, just so that we don't overshoot or undershoot anymore, and then we'll do an inclination change and get our rendezvous going. On pause. He's 191 kilometers directly behind us. Okay, so we are mostly in line. I need to find my ascending node right here. And then let's zoom in real close. I need to make a correction burn, put this guy back on track. Right about there. Okay, lock, warp forward to it. What is our closest point of approach? 224 kilometers. That's still way out there, but we're getting close here. Okay, delete that burn. So this orbit right here, our periapsis right here, is really close to the actual orbit. The apoapsis is a little high, so what I'm going to do is I'll just adjust from the periapsis. Oop, even that was too much. Okay. That's too little. 229. Oh, I lost it. I think we're close. Yeah, we're close. Okay. Just a tiny, tiny little adjustment burn here. 2 meters per second is all it's going to take. Just waiting for a colonization update. Well, you're going to be waiting for a long time. If you want, it is not an official update, but I know that a user named McDeutschfan built colony modules that run on Visi and basically have like in-game scripting that allows you to like have a colony with resource management and stuff. You'd have to look it up on the SimpleRockets website. I don't have a link for it, But if you do want to do like colonization stuff, he's got a whole system laid out, and it's pretty in depth. And he does a really good job of like showing how all of it works. Here we go. We are coming up now on target. I'm going to switch my reference frame to target. And from this point on, we're going to be making very small adjustments towards the guy. I want to point towards the target. No, lock target. There we go. And just adjust our velocity vector very slightly in that direction. Okay, maybe not that slightly. But we're moving at 30 kilometers per second and coming up on him. I'm actually going to push this guy. Retrograde. Oh, that was too far. I need to go prograde. No, retrograde. Yeah. There we go. Okay. We'll do a retrograde burn once we get close, and then drop our speed as much as we can. Okay, we're within 5 kilometers. Mm, 80, 70, 30. I actually want to bring my velocity vector in line with the craft a little bit. 25, 24, 23. Oh, too much again. Shoot, I keep doing that. Okay, we'll go retrograde. Anti-target burn, please. Working on it, working on it. I'm being a little clumsy here. A little heavy-handed with my controls. Because I could use RCS, which I honestly should be using RCS for this. But I don't want to waste RCS fuel right now. And if I can get away with using my main fuel, because I'm going to deorbit the stage anyway. I don't really care if I'm wasting fuel at this point. Okay, we'll go ahead and put the brakes on. Just kill our velocity at this point. What are my plans to bring you back from Silero? Well, didn't you read the disclosure agreement? That's a one-way trip, dude. You are on Solero forever now. I overcompensated again. Shoot. 9, 8. I just want to get it to within a meter per second. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. 1. That's fine. That's good enough for velocity. I do want to see what's probably the best way to do this. Do I send these nodes over to the space station? Okay. Okay, I'm going to actually line this up. There we go. Oh! I bumped it. It's fine, though. It's fine. Very slow speed collision here. Okay. Well, we are close enough now that I'm going to take control of this side and lock its orientation. Okay, we'll do a quick time warp. One of the nice things about time warp is it kills your angular velocity. which is super helpful if you want to cheat the system a little bit. I'm going to real quick use RCS to kill my velocity. Translate mode. There we go. Okay. Relative velocity is killed. We're going to switch back to this guy, and we will manually fire our side interstages from here. If I can find my side interstage, there it is. Okay. I'll take control of this guy now. Why is it not letting me detach? Oh, you know what? I think the magnetic force of the docking clamps is trying to hold it together. I'll turn these guys off real quick. Let me go. Let me go. There we go. Oftentimes, time warp is your friend because when you engage time warp, it turns physics off real quick. So if things are stuck, I'll throw time warp on real quick and it'll reset things. Okay, I need to target the Hab module forward docking port there, and I'm going to turn on the docking HUD mod, my favorite mod in the game. So this guy, look at this beautiful setup here. Turn this guy on, and then I want to select, I want to select this guy's camera. I have no idea if I'm selecting the right one here. I think this is it. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Shoot, I don't know if I'm looking at the right camera. Let's just go back to this guy for a second. Okay, I need to move. He points me that way. Okay, I'm trying to orient my camera here. Let's see. D. E. Trying to get my relative velocities to match for now, and then we'll go from there. Oh, it's also not locked on a heading, so that'd be good. Or honestly, let's just point it at the target for now. Okay. And forward. So we are moving in at a rate of 282.86 meters per second. Range is decreasing. We are moving towards it. I'm going to time warp forwards a little bit here. Okay. I want to kill as much of that velocity as I need to. Okay, I think I got the right camera this time. Okay. Move up and in towards the docking port. Yep, okay. How do I kill? Nope, other way, other way, other way. Slow down, slow down. Vertical velocity, slow that down. There we go. Perfect. Okay, we have most of our velocity vectors lined up. I'm going to make sure that my docking module is actually turned on properly. Wrong button. Need to go back to my camera. This guy. Okay, so we are coming in at a rate of 0.32 meters per second. We can accelerate a little bit here. We're closing in at 1.7 meters per second. Nice and smooth. I can close all that, just bring up my docking and fuel. We're at 54% monopropellant, but we've done all of the expensive maneuvers at this point already. So it's just little adjustments from here. Trying to line us up. Keep us lined up. Fly through these rings. Nice and steady. Nice and steady. Okay, I'm going to decelerate here. Okay. Looking good so far. A little off. Okay, I'm going to kill my velocity now. I don't want to be able to see this. Select that. Nope, not what I wanted. Not what I wanted. Come back here. Come back here. I didn't say you could go. I didn't say you could leave. Okay. Gotta readjust here real quick. Because my rotation's off now. I think that's a dock. I'd really concentrate here for that next bit. Are we docked? Are we docked? 67, 76, 78, 80%. Come on. And we're docked. Beautiful. Okay, so we have our first module docked with the craft. Go ahead and turn on our solar panels. That looks awesome. Okay, very happy with that so far. Where did the bus go? Did it run off? I'm sure it did. I just want to see how far it got. Take control. It's probably still within physics rendering range, I would assume. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're not too far. Station build 50. Target that? Yeah, okay. So we will lock on target. Only 450 meters away, not a big deal. Okay. Just gonna fly towards it. We don't need to get super close. Is the station going to be big? It is going to be huge, my dude. It is going to be massive. Trying to kill my velocity here. Okay. Point towards the target again. Alright, we have got this guy set up and ready for launch. Let's grab our next section and undock it. Take control. Nice, yep. Time warp turns off physics. That means stuff can phase through each other. It's not supposed to do that, but whatever. I want to control this guy. I need to make sure I have the right camera, though. I'm going to go ahead and just point it retrograde real quick. And then the camera that is pointed towards... Nope. 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 Not that one, not that one, not that one. one of these guys, one of these guys. This one, this is our guy right here. So that camera is the one we want. And we're going to go back to this view. I need to select that docking port. Please don't make it claustrophobic like the ISS. I'm not planning on it. I want it to have enough space to be comfortable, you know? We'll see how it turns out. Nope. Nope. This guy. Okay, so we have the correct camera selected. Go ahead and turn RCS on and point us towards the station here. We are in line. Nope, nope, nope. I don't want to pitch. I don't want to pitch. I want to translate. Okay, we are off. Actually going to lock on target. Okay. Why is this? Why are we still moving away? There we go. Okay, so I'm trying to zero out a couple of these values here. There we go. Moving towards it. Moving towards it. Moving towards it. Okay. Oh. Are the sticks inverted? Did I grab the wrong one? Hold on. I think I grabbed the wrong one, guys. No, that should be the right one. Okay. I'm losing my alignment. Come back. Come back. Not too far back. Not too far sideways either. Okay, here we go. Coming in for the approach. And should lock my angle here. Okay, now I'm just going to focus on zeroing out all these values here. Okay. And moving in. Bet the bus is escaping in. I know it's escaping. It's moving at like a quarter meter per second and just ever so slowly drifting away from the rest of what I'm working on. Okay. Line up. Line up. Line up. Nope. And that should do us. And we're docked. Beautiful. Turn off RCS. Extend the rest of our solar panels. Which, oh, they are at an angle. Why? Why? What's going on here? Okay. I kind of want to fix that actually, because this one is not aligned with the rest of the station as I would have liked it to. Let's take a minute. Before we throw any other modules on here, I want to take a minute and make sure that we've got everything lined up nicely. So we have this station is off. I want these solar panels to be in line with the RCS vents, basically. So that's off by maybe 10 degrees. And then this guy is off by probably 5 degrees. But I want the solar panels on both of these to be aligned. Looks like the gyros are fighting each other, probably. I think what I need to do is just make sure the command ships are communicating properly. Because if I select this command ship, I need to replicate commands. Replicate commands. Replicate commands. And then this guy. replicate commands. So I make sure that if I give a command to one part, all the parts do it. Oh, do I need to replicate action groups too? That might be. Stage activation groups, yep. Stage activation groups. It should replicate controls as well. I want these to all be the same. There we go. Okay, now all the parts should come out. What? Why is this not? Why is this not? Why is this not doing anything now? All. 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 Okay. So why are you not doing it? Do I need to manually do this? That's fine. Okay, it's fine. That's not what I want to deal with right now. What I want to deal with right now is the alignment issues. So what I'm going to do is disconnect, pause real quick, take control of this guy. Oop. I'm actually going to slow time down a little bit too. How do you know where your primary control chip is in the station? It should be the center modules right now. Rotate. Ah, I didn't rotate enough. Hold on. I'm gonna disconnect this again. Okay, I want the solar panels to be in line with that red light there. Oh, and the station's rotating too. Do I need to match that rotation? Okay, I think I got it. Yes. Okay, that's lined up now. Should be. Yeah, those look lined up. Okay, so I've got that one lined up. Now I need to come over here and line this guy up. So I'm going to undock. And then turn RCS on. Make a rotation. Okay, that's in line. Docking 100%. We are docked. And those are in line. Hey, and by shuffling the docking ports around, we've got everything responding on the proper activation group, which is perfect. It's exactly what I wanted it to do. Okay, so next up, I'm going to go back to our bus over here. I'm going to take control of this guy. Turn it off instead of doing the undock. I'll have to keep that in mind. Thank you for the advice, Pedro. Appreciate you being here on the stream. So we will do that next time we have to do that, which I'm sure will be soon because we are already detaching our next payload here. Shuffle our RCS. I want to target this guy for now. Let's point him at the target. Okay. Two meters per second is a little fast, and it's not in the right direction. go. Okay. Now we're flying in the right direction. 5 meters per second's a little fast. Throw the HUD on. I need to find... We're not just looking for any old docking port now. We're going for the side docking port. So we'll zoom out here. Move over to my station. Specifically, I want to target... Pause. I want to target this guy. So I've got that docking port targeted. We'll switch back my view to him. Okay, now I need to figure out which docking port is the one I want. That's the one I want. So we will go ahead. Oh, we will go ahead and unpause the game. Slow down a little bit here. Oh, and our... Okay, so these controls are rotated 90 degrees off of what the controls before were, which sucks a lot. So basically, because I used four-way radial symmetry when I put those parts around that central bus, each of their control references is rotated 90 degrees. And I don't remember which axis I need to be using here. Slow speed down a little bit. Okay. Okay, so Q takes me to the left now instead of up. This is going to be a little confusing for a minute. I need to figure this out. This is my fault too. I should have been a little bit more careful when I set that up. Okay, I think I got the hang of it now. A brings me up, D brings me down. There we go. Okay, so we are moving along our vector. I'm going to rotate to a line now. D brings me down. Cancel that motion out. Move to the side a little bit here. Okay, coming in on the docking port now. Do I have a good dock? 53, 60, 70, 80, docked. All right. And we are lined up with the station properly. Perfect. This is coming along nicely. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that's set. Okay, so we have 2 more modules added. I've got 1 more that I'm going to put on this side now. So we'll have one last long section directly opposite the one we just added. Take control of our bus. Okay, we've got our last guy in play. I'm going to target the station. And move towards it. What the heck is up with these controls? Okay. Burning a little bit of fuel unnecessarily. I'm moving in the wrong direction. I need to fix that. Get heading in the right direction. velocity vector is lined up. I'm just going to time warp now. And we're going to coast towards our station very slowly. Okay. Go ahead and decelerate. Here. Where is... Pause. Where is our target? We need to be targeting this guy right here. Set that as the target. We center our craft. Okay, lock target is only good when you're far out, otherwise just lock a line with the port and use translate. That's what I'm going to be doing, is as soon as I get over to the right side of this thing, move towards him. I'm going to turn the HUD on. Okay, Q brings me that way. And A brings me that way. We're basically going to swing around the station here. Okay, now would be a great time to figure out which camera I'm using this time. Not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one, that one, not those. Closer. Oh, is it that one? I think it's this one. Okay, so we've got our camera selected. Wind time forward. Nice, same deal. Rotational axes are all off. It's fine though, we'll make it do. I think I figured out the trick here. We're moving down towards it. Gonna kill that velocity. Kill that velocity. Okay, we're lined up. We'll rotate to a line. Move back so we're on the correct vector. Okay, last one for this payload's coming into play. Nope, A's down, A's down. Okay, we're gonna slow down to 1/5 speed here so I can make these last corrections a little easier. I really want this to be precise as possible. Okay. Okay, now I want to correct my rotation, line up with this as best as I can. Looking good. We'll do it from here at this point, because this should pretty much be lined up. Oh, except I forgot to take it out of translate mode. Dock, 80%. There it is. Okay, last module is on the station. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure all these are set properly. And deploy our last set of solar panels. So this is the station so far. It is looking pretty freaking sweet. We've got 2 habitat modules, and then we have a cross section up here. So we've got plenty of room to add modules on all these nodes. We've got room on the ends. It is looking awfully sweet. I'm really liking how this is going so far. I'm going to... Oh, before I do that, actually, let's go to map. We've got one more thing that we need to do. I'll give you a hint if you can figure out what it is. There's a guy. Take control of this guy. We need to deorbit our booster stage. Get him out of there. Very, very important. Always make sure you're cleaning up your space litter. Don't space litter, guys. It's a felony. Okay, so we are deorbiting our booster stage. And this stage is heading up to orbit. I'm actually going to rename it, because every time you dock something, it takes on the name of the part that you docked. What are we going to call this station? Anybody? Some suggestions here. What are we going to call it? I'm just going to call it Stream Station for now. But as soon as I see a good name for it in the chat, I'm going to roll with it. Save and exit. Okay. All right. This is going a lot better than some previous mission streams that we've been doing. So far, no huge glitches, no huge issues. Let's take this guy. Station extensions one. We'll call that that. We can save that for later if we want to use it, but right now we're not going to launch any more of those. We need to launch our next payload. You should have put it into graveyard orbit. Well, no. If you've got the Delta V to deorbit a stage and let it burn up in the atmosphere, I would say let it burn up in the atmosphere. And that's not going to be a hazard when it comes back down because it's so empty. We're not calling it that. We're not calling it integrated space station. That's funny, and I really appreciate it, but no, I want to come up with something else. But I appreciate the suggestion. That's very, very funny. In the meantime, while you guys are working out the naming of this thing, I want to add our next module. So we've got habitat modules. Can I stress the fairing nose cone? Yeah, it's a little stubby, isn't it? We've got habitation modules. We've got those long sections that have a couple of smaller solar panels. It would be nice if we could get a big solar array. So I think the next module we'll throw up is going to be like a proper solar array. I've been thinking how I want to do it because I want there to be like a strut looking structure on the solar array with nodes on the bottom and top. So what I'm going to do, I've got this idea. I want to see if it works. We're going to use the Tinker panel a little bit here to make this work. But we'll grab a chip and add... Go ahead and add our piece. We're going to make these squared off blocks, though. There and there. Let's do 1.5 in all dimensions. 0.5 and 1.5. Okay, so we've got a 1.5 by 1.5 by 1.5 cube. I'm going to make it a battery. No, I'm not going to make it a battery. That's obnoxiously heavy. It's going to be empty. This will just be structural. I'll have... You know what we could do? We'll do blocks on the end. Turn auto resize off real quick. We'll have end blocks that will be not the batteries. There. Okay. So we've got battery there. Battery there like that. Simple texture, could do the hex. Ooh, that looks good. I like how that looks. So we'll do that texture, the panel texture there. We need our docking port, obviously. What the heck? Why is that not attaching right? Okay, hold on. Turn that off? No? No? Okay. Turn all of those off. Just the top. There we go. Okay. That's fixed. Okay, so we've got our docking port. I don't know what the hell that whole thing was. Anyway, that's not what is important right now. What is important is this next bit, which I'm going to get a little creative here. We're going to auto resize this. Like that. Don't need you. Turn auto resize off. here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this strut style. We're going to go into the settings here. Don't want any detachment force. We're going to go to the Tinker panel, and we're going to stage activation none. So unless you manually set this thing off, it's not gonna separate. Also, the mass scale, we're gonna bring that up a little bit. I don't know why it's super heavy. This shouldn't be heavy since it's a truss system. That's a little light. We'll go 170, 180 kilograms seems about right for this. And I want to make sure that my sides are all correct. Yep, that's correct. Okay, that's not as good looking as I wanted it to. I was going to use these fairings to make trusses, but they don't look as good as I was hoping they would, so we're going to ditch that idea. We're just going to do the strut part itself. And then we'll do four-way symmetry for... Could I do six-way symmetry and make it like a hexagonal style part? That might look good. Let's try that. Like that. Okay, that looks pretty good actually. Resize all these parts. 5. We could go longer. Let's do 10 meters actually. 10 meters is too long. 8. 6. Split the difference. We'll call it 6. 6 meters for this guy. And then we will do that part connection trick again because I only want to attach to that component. And we will grab one of these. Oop, too far. Come on. Oh, right. There we go. So that attaches. These could be shorter, honestly. I want to do multiple of these, so let's bring this down to 4. 4. Grab that guy. And then grab another one of these guys. And another one of these guys. Actually, hold on. Big brain time. Save myself some work. Yep. Perfect. Boom. Clone it like that. That looks real nice. So we'll have 3. 1, 2. Let's do one more. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll do us. Let's do... Whoops. Bring back the game screen. Here we go. Okay, so we will have our solar panels attached to these guys. That's the general plan. I'm trying to think. Do I want to shorten these outer edges? Let's see how they look with the solar panels on them first, and then we'll make decisions about it afterwards. Nope, didn't mean to grab that. Just want to look at this guy. 180, nice and centered. Okay, so we can have nice and long. 10 rows is the max. Increase that size. We can also make them wider. But I don't like how wide they look. I'd rather them be nice and long like that. That's too wide, isn't it? Probably needs to be closer to that because we're going to have the same guy. Same guy's going to be attached right here as well. Right there. Let's have him stay open. Okay, so that clears. Do it. Let's have this guy be symmetrical. So. Okay, so that's our solar array as it stands. A couple of things are missing, obviously. We don't have gyroscopes. We don't have monopropellant on it, so we're not going to be able to maneuver it. So we're going to need to add those as well. We could probably put a monopropellant tank somewhere in there. Actually, throw it in the middle of this. It needs to be a little smaller. Like that. Okay, that works. Just like that. And shrink it down a little bit. Monopropellant. There we go. Okay, and we'll leave those on for now as well. Cool, so this is our solar array module as it stands. I think I'm not going to change any of the lengths here, but I do want to add one more part. One thing we can do is add nose cone, or not nose cones, but air inlets like that. Resize them so that they cover all of it, and then shift it out like that. And you've basically got a nice little structural support ring. I can put it right in the middle, shorten it down a little bit, get it to look nice. Boom, just like that. So that adds a little bit of like a structural element to it. And do the same here. Put it in the middle. And then one more. Put it in the middle. Okay, that helps a lot. We're still going to need monopropellant and RCS. We've got the monopropellant tank, but we need the RCS. Let's work on that next. We could do 2 sets of them. There, we would lose rotational ability. Oh, we don't need rotational though if we have gyroscopes. So let's do that. We will just do a very simple. I need to turn part connections on. We'll do a very simple RCS system. Nothing fancy like those other ones. It'll just be 4 nozzles there. And 2 nozzles on the top. And then we'll do the same on the bottom. And then we'll do the same here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Center that. And add our docking port. And then our last 2 on the bottom here will go opposite angles, but it'll do the same because it's symmetrical. Okay, so we've got all of our axes covered. We still need the gyroscopes, which I'm going to throw onto the bottom here. They don't need to be very big. How powerful is that? That's too powerful. 18. 18 should do it. So if we have 1 gyroscope with 18 power points on the top, and zoom in here. Nope, not what I wanted. Undo. It's not letting it connect. Oh, is it because it's connecting to the bottom of a part? Yeah, so it would connect if I put it there. So we'll put it there and just translate it down. Right there. Perfect. Okay, we've got gyroscopes, we've got monopropellant, we've got batteries, we've got fuel, we've got the solar panels themselves, we've got some structural elements. It looks pretty decent. I think we are ready to attach it. Okay, it's attached properly. We'll see if the fairings are going to fill it. They will not. I'm going to give Terry and her wish and stretch this out. 8's too long. 6.5 looks better though. And then we need 12. Long fairing. Okay, I think we're good. I think this is good. Anything else that I'm missing here? The Bring Foxy a Friend space station, very funny. Let's actually, yeah, before we launch this, let's take a look at what you guys are recommending. Where are my engines, Jeff station? That's pretty good. Multi-purpose Droo station. Poland's construct ship. Climate change space station. Jeff Who space station. Bring Me Back I'm Lonely station. You could name it Aimless Child because it's getting nowhere on this Earth. Well, that's not true. It's orbiting the Earth. It's getting somewhere. Okay, I think it's between Bring Foxy a Friend station and Where's My Engines, Jeff. Let me scroll through the chat. Is there any other good gens? Where are my engines, Jeff? Yeah, those are both pretty good. Can I make a poll in the chat? Hold on one second. Can I do like a poll or something? Is that possible? Can I? Ooh, I can create a poll. Alright, what should we name the station? It is between Where Are My Engines, Jeff? And Bring Foxy a Friend. Okay. Polls out. Vote on the name, and we'll decide on the name for the station after I launch this guy. I didn't check my staging. I should probably check the staging. Do you think it'd be fine? I think it'll be fine. I think it's fine. We're about to find out whether or not it's going to be fine. I bet you the interstage is in the wrong spot. But if there is an issue with the staging, I can always correct it on the fly. I just have to be cognizant of it. Don't need docking, don't need fuel. I need performance and orbit. And lock my heading. Launch. We are off. I'm going to go ahead and pitch over early. And throttle down to a 2.0 thrust to weight ratio. Check geostationary. That's a good one as well. If there's no clear winner, I'll throw that one into the poll as well, because that's a good one. Lock prograde. We'll pitch over the rest of the way here. And just keep my thrust to weight ratio nice and low. Looking good. 71% are for Where Are My Engines, Jeff? I think that's my personal favorite too, not gonna lie. I really think that one's funny. We'll let you guys sort that out. Boosters away. Looking good so far. Sorry, Foxy, you weren't getting a friend. Foxy should still get a friend. Just because the station's not named Foxy gets a friend doesn't mean he isn't actually getting a friend. We're at 1.5 thrust weight ratio. Yeah, we'll just time warp forwards here. This part's kind of slow. Okay, I'm going to separate fairings. Oh, fairing separation problem. It got snagged. I don't think there was any damage, but that is concerning. Also, turn off RCS right now. Okay. Everything's looking good so far. No staging issues yet. We are coming into orbit now. Alright, we are in orbit. Everything is looking good. Nothing's looking smashed. And we just need to select our target. No, I don't want to control it. I want to select it, target it. There we go. Okay, so if we start our burn right here, bump my sensitivity up, or that'll take too long. Here we go. 8,000 kilometers. 8,657. That's just under it. Oh, too far. Okay, back off a little bit on the power there. Oh, we are super close to it too. Okay, 710. I think that'll do. I'm going to lock that one. I'm actually going to stop time warping as well. I want to match inclination here. Orbit details. What's our inclination? 0.13 degrees. What's its inclination? 0.25. Okay. Let's go back to our craft. Nope, didn't want to do that. Where is... Shoot, where's our ascending node? I'm trying to find my ascending node. Remember the auto burn? What do you mean, Pedro? Remember the auto burn what? Or are you talking to somebody else here? I'm glancing over and I'm checking the chat, and sometimes I see things out of context. Where is... Is there a... No, there's not. Okay. What if I go back and edit this guy? Well, let me see it then. Where are my ascending and descending nodes? You have it disabled. Where do I go to undisable it, Pedro? You'd be the one to tell me. Somewhere in here, isn't it? High verbosity. Huh. Okay, you know what? We're just going to complete this burn, and then I'll take a look at that later. But we'll just perform the first auto burn. And then we'll try and find where our ascending node is after that. The reason I need to find my ascending node is I want to make sure that my inclinations match for my craft and my target orbit. So as soon as I finish this burn, I'm going to take a look and see. You've disabled the auto burn. I know I disabled the auto burn. I was holding off on it, trying to find the ascending node, but you're right, it's not visible. Oh, I can see it on this orbit right here. Okay, so this little blue line, or this on this blue line, this downward pointing arrow right there is our descending node, and the upward pointing arrow here is our ascending node. There we go. And so when we get onto our target orbit, I'm going to place a burn right on that. Right there. Now it's visible. So I want to correct our inclination before it gets out of hand. So I need to match the inclination of my target craft. Right, so I need to get 0.25, I believe. Or is this relative? Let me select this guy. Inclination 0.25. We might already be pretty close. Yeah, I think we're pretty close. I'm going to hold off on that for now. Delete. Let's just go out and do our circularization burn. Get into actual orbit here. 63 kilometers off is not bad. I need to increase our sensitivity though. It's going to take forever to do this burn. Here we go. 100 meters per second. 2,000 kilometers. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right there. We're going to lock that in. Go ahead and complete that auto burn. How do you do streams on YouTube? So if you go into the YouTube studio, there's an option to go live. And then I had to do some research. I'm running on a PC right now. If you're trying to do it on a mobile device, I have no idea. But if you're doing it through PC, I'm using software called XSplit Broadcaster, which allows me to take any material on my computer. I can create different scenes or like displays and arrangements on my computer, and then use that to create my live streams. And then the XSplit broadcasting software sends it to YouTube, which shows it to you guys. Okay. Made my correction burn. Okay, so we are behind it by 353 kilometers, which is fine. What that means is I need to decelerate, but I can tell that my orbits are off. So I'm going to do this just kind of eyeball it, but it looks like it crosses right about here. That's pretty close. And if I can get these orbits to match as close as possible. There we go. Lock auto burn. Okay, inclination change, very slight adjustment here to line up. And then if we are behind it, we're going to want to burn from periapsis and drop our apoapsis down slightly. Not quite that slightly, though. Okay, closest point of approach is 369 kilometers, 220 kilometers. Oh, there it is. 4 meter per second burn, it gets us awfully stinking close. 23, 37, 30. Okay, I think that's as close as it's going to get. We will auto burn for our final rendezvous, and then set it off. Is the station in a 0-degree orbit? I don't think so. Well, it's very close. It's at a 0.25 degree orbit, so it's very close to 0, but not quite. You could call it equatorial, but it is slightly off, and it's enough that I could correct it if I wanted to. Just put an engine on there, line up the center of mass, and do a very gentle burn, probably manually. But I'm not going to deal with it right now. What I am going to do, I want to point my velocity vector that way. Oh, okay, so we've got a relative target velocity. I'm going to point that way. And early on, make these correction burns. That's too much. As soon as that green dot's on the blue dot, kill. Perfect. Okay. So we are pretty much right on the money for our velocity vector. We are heading straight towards the station. And that will deflect slightly as we get closer, but it is as close as I'm going to get it. "30 kilometers out, 20. Okay. I'm going to do another correction burn here. I'm going to slow down slightly and put our velocity vector back on the target. "10 meters per second and closing in at 8 kilometers. 6. We'll speed up a little bit. 5, 4 kilometers. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are within physics rendering distance. Look at that. Beautiful. So I'm going to get right up next to the station and kill my velocity, basically. and then we'll separate the payload. And since it's just the one payload, I will fly it in manually from there. 3, 2, 1. 0. Kill. And separate our payload. Looking good so far. Let's pause real quick. I want to target the docking port at the very end of the station. This guy right here. Target that. Turn my HUD on. Okay, so it's treating this port as my primary port. I don't want it to, though. When you dock, you divert it. Yeah, I know. I know. As soon as I try to dock something, that change in momentum is going to knock it off course. So we'll definitely do that at the end. I'm not too worried about it right now. It's kind of a. It'd be nice to have it at exactly 0, but it's definitely not necessary. Okay. RCS on. Translate on. And so far, so good. So we are drifting towards the station. Go ahead and give us a nice little kick there. I'm just going to drift until I'm roughly where I need to be, and then we'll align from there. So I'm going to, first things first, okay, kill my lateral velocity, that's at 0, and start moving forward. And at the same time, let's correct my pitch. So I'm trying to get the two numbers. This number here is my deviation from the vector on the port target. So I've got my yaw set, and now I want to adjust my pitch. So now my pitch is at 0. I'm going to go out of translation mode. Actually, I want to do my roll. I need to make sure my roll is set in the right axes, or lined up with the other axes. So that should be it. That looks pretty good. Go ahead and get out of that. I'm going to adjust my vertical. Continue closing in on the target. Oh, we're going backwards. Hold on. What? Range is increasing? Oh, okay. Hold on. My controls are backwards on this one again, too. It's fine. So backwards is forward is backwards now, which is annoying slightly, but something I can compensate for. Get my X down to 0. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, my x-axis is zeroed out basically. Now I need to work on my y-axis. So we are at 15 meters off on the y-axis and dropping that down. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll go ahead and decelerate there. We are a little off on the X again. I'll make some correction burn there. Okay, we are lined up. X and Y are looking good so far. Nice. This HUD really makes docking easier. We are gliding in nice and smooth. Decelerate here for the final docking. Okay. Almost. X is lined up. Y is lined up. Here we go. Final approach. Go on flight view. Show me that docking port. No activity? What do you mean no activity? Oh, it's not on. Hold on. Ready? Try this again. There we go. Docked with the station. Okay. I'm going to check my alignment, make sure that my panels are opening in the right orientation. They are. That's pretty stinking close. Make sure that they are mirroring my command groups properly. And deploy the solar arrays. Look at that. Now that is a space station right there. Docking is slower in SR2 than in KSP. It is. The tolerances for docking are a little tighter in SR2, and generally that means you have to be on it, like really on top of it. KSP is a lot more forgiving when it comes to docking. It's a lot easier to dock in KSP, and that makes it faster because it's easier. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's better. It's just simpler. It's like little kids' toys. Yeah, we've got a T station. So we've got a big cross here at the top, and then our massive solar arrays here, looking real good. Next module. What are we going to add to the station next, right? Probably got one more module to add. We could do a fuel tank, like a fuel reserve for other crafts to come and dock with the station and refuel. But geostationary orbit's kind of a weird orbit to have a refueling station on. Just like practically not a good place you want to go. We could do like a science module, have a bunch of antennas sticking off of it, and stick it. Could stick it here on this portion of the station, right here. Well, I guess we would have to put it here on the back side of this. Could be good. Put it right here. We could also put it on the end of the station. Probably won't put anything on these modules just because it's kind of a claustrophobic area to try and dock because you've got solar panels here and a docking port there. So I'm thinking this is our target right here. Put another module on here. We'll make a big science lab. It'll fill up the entire fairing, sit right here. Spanish Inquisition Station. Well, Pedro, you would like that as a station title. It's looking good. I really like how this looks so far. I am thinking maybe rotate the solar array, though. Rotate it 90 degrees. We'll use Pedro's suggestion here. I want to take control of this guy specifically. If I turn him off... Whoa! Translate off. And rotate like that. Translate on. Go back. Is it going to dock nicely? Is it going to cooperate? Am I off? Oh, I am off a little bit, aren't I? Oh, shoot. Shoot, this is what I get for not using the HUD. Okay, dock. There we go. 60, 70, 80, and we're docked again. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. We're just off. We're just off here. I'm gonna redo this. I'm gonna redo this until we get it right, because that's gonna drive me nuts. Okay. Translate mode off. Gotta get it perfect. Gotta get it perfect. Okay, translate mode on. Hey! That went a lot smoother the second time. Perfect. So we've got our station. We've got our solar panels lined up nicely. And we are going to name it. I think the poll is a pretty definitive answer to that question. We are going to name it, Where is my engines? Or where are my engines, Jeff? So we will name this guy, Where are my engines, Jeff? That is the official legal name of the station. It cannot be changed. Where are my engines, Jeff? Beautiful. Okay, we'll save and exit. And we will put our last module on. Should be incorporated into the game someday. Totally should. I think it's awesome. I don't dock without it at this point. And every time I try to dock without it, as you've seen, I'm terrible at it because docking is really hard without visual, like without tools to line you up. So, big time fan of the docking mod being a permanent mainstay of the game. That fairing back. Okay, next up is our final component. We're going to add our science module. Resize tool. I think we are going to do a 4. We could probably push this out even to 5-meter radius. So nice big roomy module here for all our scientific experiments to be conducted in. 8 meters long. Yeah, that's about the right size. Does not need to be fueled. We could do a different texture for this guy. So the other one we're using basic tiles. We could do rivets. Probably not rivets. I kind of like the hexagonal. What if we double this? What if we did 4 and 2? No, 4 and 3. Could do 4 and 3. That doesn't look too bad. But I'm using the wrong component here because this is going to be a module that has astronauts in it. So I need to use the crew cabin, which is a different part altogether. This is going to be this guy right here. We're going to use him for the science lab. And the reason is this is an XML tweaked part that I can put crew in, as seen by all the crew that are in it. But I don't want them in there now. We're going to assemble it in orbit and then fly our astronauts up later. Go. Resize, we're doing 5 and 5, 8, 5 and 5. No fuel. 20 tons is a bit intense. We don't need a gyroscope on it. That's super overpowered. 20,000 tons is too much, though. We're going to bring this down to around 9,000 tons, 10,000 tons. Put the difference right in there. I should close the poll. You're right. I should close the poll since it's been decided. End the pool. End the poll, not the pool. We've got to redo the decorations on this part too. What did we say? We're going hexagonal, was it? I don't know why this is called hexagonal, but it's not hexagonal. It's rectangles. It's weird. Doing 4 and 3 on that. Five. Okay, we'll do the end caps. 1.5. These need to be empty as well. Don't need fuel in them. Totally empty. Simple textures, not great looking. What if we bump this up though? No, we're not going to do that. We'll do the hexagonal again. Keep it lined up properly. But I am going to add another fuel tank here. And we're going to do the same thing we did for the other ones where we have the small ridged tank on it. And that'll be our monopropellant tank right there. Yeah, the crew cabin part is not a mod. It is a XML edit. One of the devs did it, I think, and posted it onto the website. It's been buried. It's pretty old. But they basically XML tweaked it so that it is a fuel tank that has the same properties as a command module, and it is super handy because you can put crew in weird shaped cabins. 180. Flip that guy around. Oh wait, no, I'm not going to do that yet. Delete you. I want to finish building out this section first because there's several more components we need to add. It'll be easier if I just do it this way. Command. We've got our docking port. That's important. We'll also do a multifunction display. We'll do the default. I'm trying to get this right on. There we go. 50 and 30. And scale this up a little bit. We've got a fun little MFD on the module. There. Actually, scale that down a little bit. It's a little too big. Let's do, yeah, 200% is probably good. Okay, so we've got a little multifunction display. Let's work on power. We're going to need some batteries on this thing. Every model is going to need batteries because every model is going to be flown in independently. Every module is going to be flown in independently. So we'll have a battery here, right there. And we'll do four-way symmetry for this guy. Change the paint job to something a little darker. Like that. Okay, that looks good. I'm trying to think, is there like a nicer place to put that guy? But it doesn't want to attach to the surface nicely. There we go. How's that angle look? Does that look better? 45 and 180? Yeah, that looks better. We'll slide that down here. Slide it over. That's fine. That's fine where it is. I'm not going to mess around with that anymore. So we've got our batteries. Let's add monopropellant tanks. We'll do another tank. Change it to right about there. I want a total of about 1,000 kilograms of monopropellant in this guy. So 270. 230 will go down to 200. Actually, could attach it right there. And then we will do end cones for this guy. 30 meters long, and we'll do 15. that. Oh, come on. There we go. Really? Is it really gonna fight me like this? Hold on. Undo, undo, undo. This is where you use the group tool. Every once in a while, when I'm trying to attach things onto the side, it'll do this, and it's super annoying. And I don't know why it tries to do it this way. But it'll like move one part when definitely all the parts are supposed to move. Okay. Got that guy. Let's close all those tabs. We'll do the channels for this guy. Yeah. Keep it real simple with the channels like that. We've got those around the fuel tank. And I'm going to line them up on the center of mass. Oh, wait, no, not going to do that yet. Because the center of mass is shifted. It's in the wrong place. Yeah, part connection go brrr. It never wants to cooperate. Every time it does something silly like that. We're going to throw some lights on this guy. We'll do them on the side of this fuel tank. There we go. 300. Maybe do them on the ends here. Nope. 45 degrees. Ah, this thing really doesn't want to attach nicely either. That's 150. 135. Okay, we'll go with that. Hide the base. I'm gonna move this guy in. That. Do a four-way symmetry for that part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four-way symmetry. That looks good, and that should do it. We'll set their activation group to 1. Copy this whole part over. And rotate it 180 degrees and slap it on the bottom of the module. Just like that. Okay, so we've got our top and bottom of the science lab finished. Let's take a look at the side here. I'm going to shift this guy down so that it's in line. Perfect. And then let's do our RCS components. So those should all be monopropellant tanks. Yep. So we're going to do the same shebang as before with the monopropellant tanks. Get them down to 20 meters by 20 meters. That's too long. There we go. Make them cube-like. And then reattach them to the fuel tank. Throw it right there. Throw our RCS nozzles on there real quick. Got a top, bottom nozzle. Got our outer nozzle. And then our left and right nozzles to finish off our control group. Maybe one day we'll have a powerful AI to detect what the player wants to do with the connectors, but for now, you can always manage them with the part connection tool. The part connection tool is really clutch sometimes. Just being able to like turn things off and have the computer stop focusing on them for a minute is super nice. Okay, so we've got our RCS ports. We need science stuff now. This is a science lab. We need to have science things. I'm thinking we can do some struts. Whoop, not what I wanted to do. Select the strut, shrink it down, and then add fuel tanks onto the ends of these struts. What we can do is create little windows for our space station. Every good space station needs some windows. Do I have an RCS subassembly? I probably do. I've definitely got an RCS subassembly somewhere floating around, and I'm just not using it right now because I'm an idiot and want to do it the hard way. I'd have to go find it. I've got so many subassemblies that I haven't taken a look at, and it's just really cluttered right now. But yeah, I've definitely have made that part enough times that I would have made a sub-assembly for it. Okay, we've got that. I'm going to group those together. And is that going to work? Yes, it is. Perfect. We will paint the window blue. We can do a better blue. Clear. That's a good reflectiveness. What if we use... Hold on. Let's do a custom color. I want a slightly transparent blue. Very, very smooth. Like that. What is this part using? 80% transparency, 100%, 100%. Like that. That's too blue. Could lighten it. Reduce the transparency a little bit. 70%. Okay, that looks good. We'll call it good there. I'm gonna copy and paste this thing, and we will make multiple of them, and we'll just have them spaced kind of evenly along the length of the module. One there, one there, one there, and one more right there. I'm just going to make sure these are actually spaced evenly. I want them basically squared up between these 4 bolts right there. Oh, wrong button. Shift that down a couple clicks. Up a couple clicks. That one's good. Let's get rid of that one. So we'll just have 4. And then I will radial symmetry. This guy. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this last guy that I already embedded. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. So we've got our windows nice and symmetrical. We'll just embed them down into the ship. Like so. Those look good. I'm going to change that color again. I think that's too transparent. Too metallic, maybe. There we go. That looks better. Alright, so we've got our windows situated on our craft. Now we need a big antenna, because no science module is complete without a big antenna. That's a must. So we'll start with... we'll do it on the side here. Right there. Right there. Perfect. Now we're going to do... Oh, hold on. First things first. We'll probably have to do a fuel tank now that I think about it. So I'm going to copy this guy, ungroup him. I want to get rid of that. Can I put the fairing on it like that? Perfect. Okay. That looks good. That looks good. We can extend this a little bit. And then I want to reduce this guy to there. Like that. Okay, that seems to be a good shape, maybe a little wider. That's a good shape for our antenna. I'm going to throw a piston on that. Where it is, there it is. Throw a piston on that. Let's take a look at this guy. I want him to be nice and long. You know what? That's actually perfect for length. Group that up, push that in, and then find a good place to attach this guy. That works right there. There is one issue that I'm seeing here, though, and that's it's going to stick way out and make this asymmetrical. What I can do, attach another piston, reduce its range considerably, or maybe keep its range nice and long. I might be able to. 270, perfect. I'm going to embed this whole thing kind of inside the space station array right there. Okay, so that's nice and concealed. I'm going to test launch this without the fairing attached, just to see if that actually clears properly or if it's going to give me any issues. Do a little test launch. Hope you guys are enjoying so far. Something that works great for Windows is setting emissiveness to 10 or 20%. During the day they look normal, but they'll have some glow at night. That's actually a great recommendation. I appreciate it. But right now, what I'm testing is, does that break? That's not coming out far enough. Okay. Undo. I want that to kind of be inside it and then deploy out. Attach the antenna to a rotator so you can rotate it. Well, if I have it on a rotator as it is right now, it's not going to be noticeable. Like, any rotation is not going to be noticeable because it's a symmetrical antenna. So sure, it might rotate, but you're not really going to see anything except for the lines on the antenna spin around occasionally. If I had it canted to where it would come out the side and then like rotate around like this, that'd be one thing. But if it's just coming out at a 90-degree angle and rotating around, that's kind of boring. And just, it's not really doing what we need it to do. Drag that guy there. Okay, let's test this again and see if we've got the right size for all of our parts. And then we'll definitely test that emissiveness on the windows there and see how that looks. If I do it that way, I might actually change the color of the windows to be yellow. Okay, slider 1. Hey, perfect. That comes out just enough. So we'll keep that as is. We could put a hinge there. I don't want to do a hinge and a rotator. I don't want to overcomplicate this. We could do a hinge, though. If we had a hinge, it could just hinge down and point away from the station a little bit. That could be good. I could throw one of those on there in between. If I ungroup this real quick, I could put a hinge on between those two parts. Right there. So I could throw a hinge, let's see. Get rid of the base. Give it a shorter range and a slow speed. Okay, let's see if it'll let me attach it. Why is it not letting me attach it? Huh. Good. Oh, did I ungroup it? Is that why it's all funky? No. Okay, what's the deal then? Why you no work? Come on. Cooperate with me. There we go. Now it's letting me attach. Okay. This whole thing, that's all just the antenna right there. We'll throw that on. Right there. Nope, wrong way. Right there. Actually, we can have a little bit exposed there. I don't really care because it's going to be fully extended. It's fine if that's clipping right now. I don't really care. So we'll leave that alone. We've got lights, we've got those. Oh yes, the windows. I wanted to change that. So we could shift to a more yellow. Bring up our emission to like 20%, he said. Let's try that out. Oh wait, parabolic dish. No, it's not a parabolic dish. I'm not gonna take the time to actually make a parabolic curve on the dish. It's not worth it in my opinion. That wasn't right. Okay. But I do like these windows. Look at that. They glow very nicely. And let's see how they look in the day. Oh, that's perfect. All right, we're gonna keep that. Actually, might increase it just slightly. Increase that. Because that's 20 or 18%. Bring that to like 22 or something. Very slight increase. Yeah, 24 is fine. Okay. Need to make sure everything's attached here. That's connected to the surface. Okay, everything should be in order. I don't need such a long fairing anymore. Even that's long. That's probably good. Let's check my staging one more time before we send this guy off. Everything looks good there. Oh, we do not want... Hold on. Glad I checked that. We do not want this guy to be staged. So we set stage activation to none there. Okay. Make the window beacon light. You can simulate the lights from the module when they're on or off. I could do that. I'm not going to bother. The beacon lights, I don't think they have as nice of a shape as what I'm looking for. Yeah, because it would be flat. Having the nose cone that's squashed down gives it kind of a curved shape that I want. Okay, everything is in order. Let's pull up our staging. Let's see if these lights ended up working. Did they? Oh, I don't have any batteries on this, do I? I don't have any gyroscopes either. Alright. I don't have any batteries or gyroscopes on this guy because I wasn't paying attention. Hi, Etarian. Glad you're back. Increase the nose cone length. I already increased the nose cone length. I'm not increasing it again. If it's not good enough for you, you can make your own rocket. Oh, this is Carolox. I am an idiot. I never set that to have the right fuel type. And I blame you guys partially because you never corrected me. Also, we don't have any monopropellant in these tanks. Okay. Nope. I'm making clones of parts for no reason. Okay. Fuel. Monopropellant. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? I'm forgetting gyroscopes. I am. Okay. We'll do four-way symmetry. 1, 2, 3, 4. And put those right in line there. Okay. Everything is good for launch. We are good to go. We're just going to send it at this point. Last attempt at this. If this fails, I quit. Throttle up. Let's pull up my flight view. Get everything the way I like it. Lock heading. We can leave the docking one open. Performance is good. Launch. And we are lifting off the launch pad. I'm going to go ahead and pitch over early. Set myself on an orbital reference frame. Throttle down. Throttle down. Throttle down some more. Pitch over. So far, so good. I'm going to go ahead and choose my prograde vector and just keep throttling down. How much does the module weigh? I think it was around 15 tons. 15 metric tons. So pretty heavy. Separate my side. Oh, shoot. Failure on the launch pad. That's not what we wanted to see. Hold on, we're going to make one quick adjustment. I don't think the detacher force was changed in any way. It wasn't. 250. And I don't have symmetry on these parts, so I have to do it manually. Set all of these guys. 250. Uh-oh. We had a little bit of a whoopsie there. Let's relaunch, try that again. And okay. Roll over, try and level out. Switch to my orbital reference frame. Let my pitch down. Still need to throttle down, still going too fast. And once I hit about 10 kilometers, we will go ahead and switch prograde. Okay. Booster separation's coming up here pretty soon. We'll see if increasing that force fixed it. It did. We separated successfully there. No problems so far. I am going to start to pitch over harder here. $30. And we'll go straight for the horizon at this point, because we're out of most of the atmosphere. Air density is low enough now that I don't have to worry about that too much. Still want to keep my fairing on a little longer. We'll actually detach it a little early compared to what we had been doing. Once it gets under 3 grams per cubic meter, we'll separate that. Fairings away, clean separation, looks good. Everything is going according to plan. I'm going to go ahead and throttle up. Oh, and those windows look beautiful too. Very happy with how that looks. And we have a little MFD here. Let's set it, hold on. Let's set it to radar. Okay, we are first stage separated and gone. We are burning our second stage now. Going to drop the throttle back. Let's just cruise into orbit here. Six, 25, 24, 23. Almost in orbit. Couple more seconds of burn. Boom. In orbit perfectly. Let's go ahead and target. Where are my engines, Jeff? We'll make him the target. Go back to our craft, and I want to burn at about 90 degrees to him. Take it right there. And sensitivity's still low. Sheesh. Okay, here we go. 4, 7, 8 kilometers. That's a little much. Bring the sensitivity back down. This is our last launch. 8,785. We'll call that good. I'm going to go ahead and burn towards it. Those windows look a little weird in the daylight. Because they're like partially transparent, so the light's kind of reflecting off them weird. Very funny. Very funny looking windows here. We are coming up on the end of our burn here. We'll go ahead and fast forward through this. La da da. 701. I don't want RCS on right now. Okay, we are pretty close. A couple 100 kilometers off at separation here. And we've all seen this before several times already, so I'm just going to go through this as quick as I can. Not a lot of commentary here, just repeating the same steps we did the last couple of rendezvous. Should be very cut and dry. And well, we are going to make a little adjustment here because I want to make sure. Whoa, okay. Too much. Trying to get this circularized nicely. Okay, we'll go with that for now. Lock and auto burn. Yeah, so when they're not casting shadows on themselves, they look really good, but they look really weird. They look like eggs. Like, that's honestly what these look like, is eggs. These look great. Not so much right there, but, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's just a weird light reflection. It's no big deal. 730. That was a little too much, but that's okay. Next, we need to correct our inclination. Right about here seems to be the changing point. Drop that down. Also going to go ahead and tuck in. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to fiddle with this a little bit. I want to make sure that we're circularized nicely for this next part. There we go. That'll have to do. Lock. Because I overdid the emission? Yeah, maybe. They look a little funky. Well, here they look fine. Like, right there looks totally fine. It's when the light gets at a weird angle they start to look a little funny. But if they're right into the light, they look okay. So, I don't know. It's not a big deal. It's just a little small aesthetic thing. It's not a priority right now. The priority is getting this rendezvous. So we'll drop our too much, wasn't it? Nope. Drop our periapsis, and I think that lock right there says we've got it. 26 kilometers. That's as close as it's going to get at this orbit. Time warp forward. And that'll do it. So time warp us around. Here we come. Right about here. we will go ahead, switch our reference frame. We are now in target reference frame. I want to burn towards the target here. I'm gonna burn this way actually. Okay. And looking good so far, moving in at 20 meters per second. We'll just time warp towards it. Oop, slow down. We are 7 kilometers away, coming in nicely. Okay, I'm going to make another adjustment burn here. This time to decelerate us. Okay. Bring our prograde vector back onto our target. Like that. And we will point retrograde for the rest of this approach. Because the last thing we have to do here is decelerate our module. Coming in. Ooh, we might get within 100 meters of this guy. Oh, perfect break. Look at that. Okay. I'm going to point towards the target. And we're going to deploy this guy. We're going to stick him not there. I'm actually going to switch over to our other craft because I need to tuck in. Targeting this. Where's my guy? Oh no, I know where I'm supposed to be targeting. It's not here. It is. Swipe over. This is our guy right here. I want to target him. Recenter. Okay, so we have separated the payload. So far, so good. I'm going to go ahead and turn RCS on. Kill that induced velocity real quick. And let's see where our cameras are. That's our guy. Okay, now I need to orient myself here. Yep, these are backwards as well. I want to point this way. Okay, we are on the way. These RCS thrusters are a little underpowered for what I'm trying to do with them. Actually move at 5 times speed just to make this a little quicker. Okay. I'm going to lock target just to flip it around automatically for me so I don't have to. Let's see. We will go manual from this point forwards. And start our approach. Okay, so we are coming in now. Rotate us. Actually, I want to dock with it vertically oriented like that. And then let's adjust our pitch real quick. So that's our priority right here. Make sure our alignment's good angularly. And then push in here. All right, Mr. Foxy, you have a good night. Thank you for being on with me. Appreciate you. Okay, we have a good approach vector. I think everything is going smoothly here. Gonna real quick correct this. There we go. Oop, overcompensated. Bring it back. Beautiful. Beautiful, look at that. Oh, come on. Come on. Doc. Doc, you got up to 90. There it is. And we are docked. We have our science module on the station. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and extend our antenna. Oop, that got a little funky for a second there. What is this hinge connected? Oh, it is connected to number 2, isn't it? That's right. That's right. And did I just separate that? Oh! Oh no! Oh no, guys. That's a problem. Uh-oh. We have had a rapid unscheduled disassembly of our space station's main antenna. Oh, that is unfortunate. It is just floating away. Well, I'm not gonna bother trying to fix that. That's gone. We will extend the antennas on our habitation modules though. Those are out. That looks nice. I think everything else is deployed. Windows look good. Well, let's go open something up on this MFD. Yeah, we've got an orbital display right there. That's nice. Yeah, we've had a very serious communication system failure. But you know what? I think barring that one big oopsie that we had, and we're always due for one big oopsie on a stream like this, and you know what? The antenna falling off, that's our one. Other than that, though, this has come together so well. I mean, just look at how everything looks now put together. Those solar arrays look beautiful. It's just floating magnificently above Droo. Look at this. Look at that. Let's just do a time lapse here and enjoy what we've created. Yep, it looks like it's time to create an antenna module. Well, I think I'm done for tonight, so we won't be putting an antenna module on tonight, but maybe we'll do that in the next stream, throw a guy on there. Very unfortunate that that broke off at the last second. But I'm very satisfied with how everything else looks. This thing really did come together. I'm glad you guys got to enjoy it with me. I will see you all next weekend. We'll be doing another live stream Sunday, same time, same place. And yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in. And I'll upload this sandbox. I'll probably delete a bunch of the random junk. I uploaded the stream craft that we built last time. I'll upload this sandbox for sure. I just got to delete a bunch of the random stuff that's already on there. But then, yeah, you guys can enjoy this space station as well. Maybe put some of your own modules on it. If you do put some modules on it, I'd love to see them. Send me pictures of it. I'd love to see what you guys do with it. So I will leave it here, but I am so glad you guys tuned in, and I hope you all will join me next weekend. And I will see you then. Bye-bye.